see what the chat's talking about. Let's see who we got in here. Comments we're gonna pop over. We got a few people in here looking for the Harris jersey. We don't have that. How you guys doing, man? Jimmy Guns. Some of you know me, some of you don't. Um, some of you might know Brian, some of you might not. We're gonna introduce him to you guys today. I'm gonna give you the little backstory real fast. I was out in Portland. I was over at my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law's house. You know me, when I go to Portland, I obviously go out with my buddies. Might drink a little too much. I walked up the stairs kind of hung over. This gentleman's over here. Awesome, awesome guy. Start talking to him. Find out that he is into sports cards. He has a big channel on TikTok, is your main platform. He also has one on Twitter, on YouTube, probably on Facebook. I don't have that. Awesome, awesome dude, man. The more I watch his videos, the more I like him. He goes around, he opens up old wax, some vintage stuff, some stuff more from our time, 80s, 90s, really cool. I've seen some videos where he will actually be at baseball games and open it with the players hunting for their rookie cards. And that is so cool to me. But yeah, for everybody who don't know, this is Brian right here. Brian, I'm going to ask you a question. How did you? So we all got into sports cards when we were young, right?
Yeah.
Did you stay in it the whole time, or did you take off and then come back into sports cards?
That is a great question. When I turned 14, my family, I was living in Oregon, and my family moved to Germany, to a military base in Germany. So middle of nowhere, like backwoods of Germany, no places to collect sports cards. Nobody even knew about sports cards. I was the only one doing it.
Wow.
And so I just completely, it fell off from me. I totally forgot about it, went through all high school in Germany. And it wasn't until I turned, it was when I was 29, and I was back up in the Pacific Northwest for the first time in a long time. And I stopped by the old card shop in Beaverton, Oregon, which is like just about a mile from Nike headquarters. And I was going to like a Blazers game, and I remembered, I was like, oh man, I used to collect cards when I was a kid. When I was like 13, 14, I used to collect baseball cards. And then all of a sudden I started thinking of names like Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire and Nolan Ryan and Cal Ripken and, all these names, Ken Griffey Jr. and Frank Thomas. They all started popping in my brain, and I started Googling. There we go, right there, 1989 Don Russ. And so that was it, man. As soon as I remembered about cards, it just immediately, hey, what's up, 3D 80s kid from Hillsboro? Nice to, I lived right
Oregon.
I lived right on Farmington and 139th back in the day. And so I got back into it because it was something, hey, what's up, Definitely 45.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, we're listening to Brian real quick. He's talking about how we got back into sports cards.
Speak it, Brian. Speak it. Preach.
That's cool. Greg Jackas just said his dad was stationed at Bitburg Air Force Base. I was stationed at Baumholder American Army Base. And so for me, military was everything. But when I got back to Beaverton when I was about 29, all of a sudden I started remembering all these memories, and I started Googling around. And as soon as I started seeing pictures of these baseball players and the old baseball cards from the late 80s, early 90s, it just brought back all these good emotions, good feelings. And that was it, man. I was rehooked. So when I turned 30, all I wanted was sports cards. I was hitting up every card shop around the Pacific Northwest, trying to buy all that 89 Don Russ, 89 Upper Deck, and bought my first box of Upper Deck, went through it, found a Griffey rookie card, and that was it. And then that was 14 years ago. So 14 years now, I've been massively passionate and borderline addicted to this amazing hobby of ours.
So you popped back in kind of early when prices were still really good compared to what they are today or what they were last year.
Yeah, I bought that box of 89 Upper Deck for $100 from this guy in Washington. Walked over the border from Vancouver into Washington, picked it up, and found 5 Griffies in one box. And that was like, still to this day, it's the greatest moment of pull where I was by myself and I'm getting back into the hobby, and I'm opening the first pack, and there's a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card, something I could never have as a kid. And here it is in my hands, and that was it, man. That's all it takes.
Right.
So then when did you get the idea to start to start doing social media when it came to your card passion? because you have a big channel. I mean, people in chat might not know, because a lot of times people have a really big channel on one platform and then they're trying to catch up with their other one. So your Twitter's not up there crazy. Your YouTube's not up there yet. Hopefully we can help a little bit, you guys. But your TikTok has just flown through the roof.
Yeah, my TikTok and my Instagram. Those are my two big channels.
Yeah.
And what it was is that it was about 2 years ago, and one of my buddies was asking me about, like, we were actually starting to build a new sports card company about kind of display and protection of cards. And one of my buddies was asking me, he's like, hey, tell me about one of your favorite baseball cards. And so I started telling the story about, like, Jose Canseco and the 1986 Don Russ card, which was always one of my favorite cards. And it was a card that nobody, when I was a kid, could have. It was like,
it's too expensive. It was over $100 bucks.
Yeah, it was $100. And when, $100 in 1987, it might as well be $1 million, right? And so so he filmed me and he put it up on TikTok. And the next morning, there was like 37,000 people had watched it, right? Yeah. And so we were just like, well, that was insane. We're like, let's do it again. For Lou Rock TV, my handle on TikTok is exactly my name. It's just Brian Pira.
Perfect. I was gonna try to text you and be like, hey, send it over in the chat somehow.
And so it just kind of blew up from there, and so now we took the channel. Me and a couple of my buddies, we got in a car. We went on a road trip all across the United States, and we filmed in like 30 different states, trying to find different kind of rookie cards, pulling. Like we started the road trip with a box of 1993 SP, looking for Jeter's rookie card. And it's a pricey box. Yeah, we finally hit one. It took us. It actually took me 3 boxes, so I bought 3 boxes before I finally found it. It was like this elusive card, and we also bought a single box of 2011 Topps Update, which has the Mike Trout rookie. And I took that box to Nashville, and me and my buddy, we go to the ZZ Top concert. Wow. So imagine this. We're at a ZZ Top concert, whole packed stadium at the Grand Ole Opry, and we start opening packs, and and the audience started getting in with us, right? Like all the people around us started getting excited, and we're like, "What do you think, guys? Is this going to be the pack that has the Mike Trout?" And so we're opening it, and finally, like in the 3rd pack, we actually of the box that we've taken to the concert, we found that Mike Trout, and everybody starts celebrating. People are buying each other drinks. And then boom, right then the lights go down and we're watching the concert. And so we filmed all that and put that on TikTok. So and Instagram as well.
Here's one of the things that we're going to touch on that we're going to end up talking about later. I told you I want to talk about like building a community and doing like social media type work. And not everybody could do that. Like it takes a certain special kind of somebody to be able to do that kind of stuff. Like who would think about opening packs in the middle of a rock and roll concert? That takes a confident type dude, man. In this day and age, a lot of people are kind of sitting back, not wanting all the attention on them. But that's cool. So how I got back in, I collected as a kid like forever, right? And then my daughter was playing basketball. I was her coach, and she had a really good game. And we were driving in Gresham, Oregon, and we passed a place called Sweet Spot Sports Cards in Gresham. Buddy Justin owns it, great guy. But we passed by, and I'm like, "Oh, Dad used to collect sports cards." As we're driving by, and my daughter was like, "Well, let's stop and check it out." And all of a sudden, the kid in me just came alive. I was like, "Oh, I'm about to go to a sports card store." It had been 20 years since I collected sports cards. So we pop around, we pop in there. I'm shocked by the prices of these cards now. I'm $20 for a pack. These were a quarter. That's why I collected these. These were a quarter. So anyways, I buy a pack of basketball. I buy a pack of football. Go home. We open the pack of football. We pull a triple patch of Dan Marino, Elway, and Brett Favre. First pack I opened in 20 years. I'm like, holy crap. I didn't know there were cards like this. Second pack was a basketball pack. I open it up and I pull a Greek Freak Rising Tide rookie auto. First 2 packs back in 20 years. I pulled 2 cards that we would freak out over opening. Done ever since. I have been broke since that day. I buy cards. Just insane. But the big part is my daughter was a part of it with me. And that's what was so great about it. So me and her started a YouTube channel because I was like, there's got to be other people who collect cards. Started a YouTube channel, found some like-minded people. It was awesome. This little community. And one of the things about me, man, you can ask Nevin and Nicole about me, but a lot of people in the chat know who I am, know where I came from. Deafness does. He used to do these in depth with deafness, where it's like you go on, he asks you a few questions, you get in deep in your life. I was a knucklehead.
It's not card related. It's more like getting to know a person on a personal level versus talking about all their hobby stuff, basically.
Yes.
Or the hobby people.
So I was a knucklehead, man. And in the moment that I got into cards, I was still at the bars every night, getting into fights, doing this, that, and the third. And all of a sudden I get introduced to this community, this group of people that have hearts of gold, like stuff that I've never encountered before. And it literally changed like my whole thing. So now, I do this gun show. It's an auction, hobby hangout. I got these people who come hang out every Saturday just to, our little group, to hear what I have to say. It makes zero sense to me, but just the most awesome group, full of love. Like a bunch of people are here in chat from that right now. One of the people I got to meet was Deafness. One of my, it's gonna sound weird, but one of my little heroes in the hobby, for the stuff that he's been doing forever. And it's crazy how a lot of our stories are the same. Like we all collected as kids. That was our little passion. We all went away and kind of did life, and then we all kind of came back to it. A lot of people came back just for the money aspect. They want to open a box, get the big hit, and then other people come back for the feeling. Yep. One of the things that I like to say is, when I look at old cards, when I open old 89 Don Russ and I pull a Griffey, it takes me back to a simpler time. It takes me back to a time when the world wasn't on my shoulders, when I was mowing a lawn to get $1 to go buy 4 packs. I couldn't afford Upper Deck, right? So I'm buying Don Russ. That's why the 89 Griffey out of that is my favorite card in this whole world. And I'm talking, I'll have a 32 Babe Ruth sitting right here, and the 89 Griffey is still my favorite card. Period. Love it. Love this hobby. I want to pop over. I want to hear Deafness. I want to hear how he popped back in, and then I want to talk about growing a channel, growing a community, how people do it, because I know a lot of people are in this and they want to kind of do their own thing, but they don't know how. So I figured that we would be a few people who'd be able to tell them the trials, tribulations, the stumbles, the successes, and the right way to go about it.
Right.
But Def, why don't you tell us about how you popped
back in?
What's
up, everybody? Deafness 45 here. So one of the biggest things that I think, and just something as I'm listening to Gunz talk and Brian talk on the stream right now so far, as far as community building, just the hobby and everything else as a whole, is that you find in this type of hobby community aspect, when you start building that, a lot of the people are very similar in some kind of way. And I think that similarity comes back to some type of struggle, right? Whether they're going through a divorce, they lost somebody close to them that's just, they're having a hard time dealing with it, financial, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. They want to find a place that they can go to that they feel welcomed, right? So,
yeah,
kind of, I'll talk on my getting back in the hobby, but first I think I'll just go on my feelings on the community build and everything else. So I think one of the biggest things for me is when I was actually really, really engaged and active in wanting to build a community and a channel, is that I made sure that every single person that popped in, that said anything, that chatted anything, you recognize, right? You say hi to them, or you say, even if it's something quick, because everybody's looking for that recognition. Everybody's looking for that feeling of being a part of something, right? So if you make them feel welcome, if you make them feel like they're a part of it, and you're about it, it's like I've always said, like when I'm doing something or I'm streaming, somebody comes in, I don't want to just know them by their user YouTube name. I want to know I want to know them by their first name. I want to get to know them by their first name. I want it to be an actual relationship, right? I'm not as concerned. I think like Gunz has been, we're not as concerned as like, yeah, of course, everybody would love to have 1 million subscribers and have this crazy, you got to have something that goes viral to do that. But as you're building that community, you can build that community. Even if you grow faster, you can still build that community by recognizing and knowing the people that are a part of that community.
Sure,
And the
yeah.
more you do that, the more people want to come back. And sometimes I think it can be a little tough, and I'm sure Gunz has been in the same spot. Maybe Brian has too. But sometimes it can get a little tough because as you start to recognize these people and as they start to be really a part of that community, they sometimes at times they expect a little more out of you. So it may not just be on a stream basis. It may be on, now you're starting to get emails, right? Or you're starting, because you tell them, like, if you're somebody that's cool with it, like me and Gunz are, reach out to us anytime something's up or you have something going on. And there's been times in the past when I was very active where I would get 3, 4, 5 people that would reach out to me, send me a long email. You know, I reply back and try to do everything I can for it. But I think the big thing with Gunz, at least I know with Gunz and like myself, is on that community aspect, the biggest thing is like making sure that people are okay. So if somebody in the community is down, if somebody in the community is really seriously struggling and we know that they're struggling, Gunz will do a charity auction or raise money for somebody, or I would do one or whatever. We'd both do one depending upon what it is. We do it at different times and see what we can do for somebody if they're really in the rough. But the building aspect, I think, just comes to, you know, it's the hobby is the people. Like if you can engage in people, if you can be part of the people and you can actually interact with them, that's the biggest thing I think on anything. And then behind that, like as much as it sucks, consistency. Like consistency is key. I look at when I grew or when I had the most growth is when I was very active and I was doing
all the time. And then you left for a minute and then came back, and it's kind of tough to build that back.
If you disappear and you don't do anything for months,
you
know, life changes in front of you, and you know you've gone through a divorce and you're over that, and you're just kind of focusing on yourself for a while, and then you know you fall in love again or whatever, like, and you stop doing things. Yeah, I mean on the streaming side, on the hobby side, on the growth side of your community, it's gonna fall off, and then you try to come back and you're like, yeah, maybe I'm gonna give it a go, and it's like it's a struggle, and it's really have to go with it. And here's one thing I want to ask Brian about. You have how many followers on TikTok, Brian? Like 100,000 or something, right? Or close to?
Yeah, it's like 100. I don't know, 117 or something.
So I've noticed this. I'm going to ask you this: Do you do any YouTube Shorts?
Brian. Yeah, 117,000. And so what I do is I'm actually kind of lazy on this. It's my guy Sam, who's sitting way over there. He films everything. He posts everything. He edits everything. And then what he does is that he takes whatever we filmed for TikTok and then he posts the same video onto YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. He puts them on all of them so that we, you know, at first we were just TikTok for the first year. And then we were like, oh, maybe we should start, let's just go and put it onto Instagram. And so we started doing Instagram. And then like another 6 months go by and we're like, you know what, we should really do all the platforms. So I was like, Sam, do you mind going and posting all those? Like, I know it's going to suck to go and post on every platform, but he's like, you know, he's the coolest guy ever. And so he's like, yeah, sure. Let me go and do that. And so what I do though is, so he goes and does all that stuff. And then what I do is every morning when I wake up, when I'm getting ready for my day, I'll sit down and I get messages on every single platform. Most of them are coming through on TikTok or Instagram. But people will write these ridiculously like heartfelt comments. I mean, they'll write me, DM like, hey, I'm struggling. I got this going on. Or I've had like my daily dose of good vibes is just reading the comments and the daily messages I get. I wouldn't trade it for anything. People are like, a lot of people in my life are like, Brian, you spend like an hour or two like responding to comments every day. And I'm like, the reason why I do it is like, I like that people took the time to go and write me, but also it like boosts my day responding to these people, because usually it's some guy's just like, hey, this is my favorite card. I wanted to show it to you. Right. And I'm like, oh, that's a sick card, man. That's really cool. And so for my whole life, for the whole, like, when I started collecting 15 years ago, it was a really, really lonely hobby for me. It was all solitary, right? I felt kind of awkward about it because I thought, what grown man is like is messing around with baseball cards. I was 30 years old, right? And I'm like, so I would sneak into the card shop the way that people would sneak into like a porn shop or something, or an adult store or whatever. I would sneak in, I'd look around, I'd go grab a couple boxes, run back off to my hotel room, right? And then just be opening packs by myself while eating pizza, watching a movie. And so I kept really to myself on it. I didn't engage with anybody, and it wasn't until about 2 years ago that I even told like some of my closest friends. I was like, just so you guys know, I collect sports cards. Like,
right, and then they clown you for it a little bit. You're like, hold on, I'm doing my own thing. You do what you
Yeah.
like.
Well, but it gets better until they find out what Brian's selling. Those couple cards he pulled off that were golds or the 10s or whatever. They're like, whoa, there's football here now.
Well, exactly right. Is that I started like I started being like, you know what, I'm going to start reaching out to people, and we started doing our channel and everything. And like this is one of my favorite things that happened. I got to tell you guys about is that me and my buddy Sam and our other guy Colin, we were on this road trip across the United States, and we were hitting all these different states, opening packs, and really, trying to go to every single card shop we could across the country, right? And we get up to New York City, and we're opening some cards up there. Start driving back to California, and this one guy, like I'm always responding to my messages on the road, and this one guy in Tennessee writes me and goes, hey man, like I live in Johnsonville, Tennessee. And he's like, I would do whatever it takes, or Johnson City, that's it, Johnson City, Tennessee. And he's like, I would do whatever it takes to open a pack of Upper Deck with you, right? A single pack of 89 Upper Deck. And I was looking on the map, and I was like, man, it's a long way. It's going to add like 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever, to like bypass through Tennessee to get back to LA. And so I was like, you know what? Something feels right about this. Something feels right about it. So we changed course. We drive to Johnstown, Tennessee, and we roll into this. We decide to meet up with this guy named Joe. And Joe drives a pickup, or what do you call it? He drives a tow truck in town, right? And we decide to meet up. And I don't know this guy. He doesn't know me, right? He just watches my channel, and I responded to his message. And we meet up at this parking lot outside the card shop in town. And he comes rolling in, and as soon as we meet, it was like a big hug, right? Big hug. He pulls out a whole bag of like different gifts for me, right? All sorts of gifts from his town, like a shirt that really meant a lot to him, a couple pens, a couple of his favorite baseball cards. And he told me that when he was watching my channel, that he used to have some kind of addiction problems, and that by watching the channel, it reignited his love of sports cards, and it allowed him to kind of like turn some of those negative things in his life into really positive things. And he was just like, hey man, I got back into cards because of watching your channel, and now like I'm starting to channel all this kind of extra energy into my card collecting that brought back all my memories. And so we go into the shop, and I brought a few packs of 89 Upper Deck for him, and he starts open them up. And, I was really hoping he'd find a Griffey card. And I asked him, I was like, what is your all-time, like, if you could have any cards, what would you want, right? And he goes, if I could have anything, it'd be the Griffey card, or that Michael Jordan baseball card, or Nolan Ryan rookie. And so I just loved bonding with this guy, right? We're just from two totally different worlds, different backgrounds. But we had this incredible connection over the cards, right? And so I say, hey, hold on for a second, man. So I take him outside, bring him over to my car, and I had my personal collection in my car, like a big container, open it up, and I pulled out the Griffey and the Jordan card, right? And I had them there, and I had an extra, I said, well, I have something for you, right? And I handed it over, and like, dude sees the Griffey Jr. rookie card. He sees the Michael Jordan baseball card. I mean, they're not like worth, tons of money, but like when the dude saw it, he started like tearing up, right? He tears up, and he starts telling me some real personal stuff, and we hug it out, and we get in the car, and me and my buddies get on the car, start driving away from that city back to LA, and we can't talk for like an hour. We couldn't talk. We're just sitting there, and all this like this like feeling, right, of like, and I remember I said to my guy, I said, listen, man, I thought this whole thing was about baseball cards and sports cards. It's so much more than about that. It was about that, but now after meeting this guy, it changed everything for me. And I realized that cards are cool, but it's about that connection, human connection.
Isn't that the best feeling though, to have somebody talk about like a part of their childhood, and you're able to hand that to them real quick? Like that's so huge.
What they want,
Oh,
and now he and I are good friends. You know, we write each other back and forth, and I posted this video. In fact, on TikTok, it's one of my pinned videos, at least a piece of that because my buddy filmed most of it, and it was cool because all these people started writing and reaching out to Joe and started adding him on TikTok and Instagram. And he wrote me like a few months later, and he's like, "Dude, I have these friends all over the United States now. I have friends in every part of the country that connected out to him because they saw that one video." And so what I've discovered is it's more than just about the cards.
yes.
It's about this community and this kind of like you connect with somebody when you collect. It's just it's hard to describe.
So I'm gonna pop in real quick, and I'm gonna talk about something real fast. So what's crazy to me is you guys know me. Like I have a ton of energy. I love to own the room, right? I love to be the focus and talk. But there's a reason that I brought on Brian and I brought on Def, right? Because I knew they were going to be great. You guys are probably tired of hearing from me, but they have so much information, so much great insight into this hobby, and I wanted you guys to be able to hear it. But when it comes to community and what we do, you know, one of the things I love, and Def kind of touched on it when he was talking about how we'll do a charity auction or we'll do this. We've raised a ton of money as a group, man, because one of the things I always say is, man, if you have $5 to throw in and that's all you have to spare, you know, that you can get rid of without hurting, that's fine. If you have 20, 30 people who are all throwing it in, it becomes something big. One of the things that's happening in the Hobby Palooza that I think is amazing, and the Gun Show has actually done an auction for our buddy Tim before, but SIGs for Soldiers. A lot of you guys know who he is. Maybe some of you guys don't, but Tim is former military. Good man, that's dedicated like his life to helping people. So what he does is he goes and he talks to different athletes. He will get cards autographed by them. People will be part of the SIGs for Soldiers community. He'll get cards autographed and then he'll put them up on Twitter or whatever on eBay, and he'll sell them, and all the money goes to military missions and actions. Well, most of it, except for the kind of stuff that, you know, he does in his little community. But he'll rebuild decks, you know, for military people that may be in wheelchairs that don't have wheelchair access. He'll do all kinds of amazing stuff. But this year, what Hobby Palooza is doing is they're raising money for Tim and SIGs for Soldiers, which I think is absolutely amazing. So at the bottom, as you guys are seeing that PayPal donation scroll across, that is Mike, baseball collector. You guys all know him, love him, trust him. And if you don't know him, love him, or trust him, know that I do. And if you know me, love me, and trust me, I am not bad with who I pick as friends, and I trust him with all my heart. He has been a huge part in many of the charity auctions that I've done on the back end, and told me that I'm not allowed to say that he did it. I feel like I might have just messed his trust up right there, but great man. If anybody feels like they want to be a part of this, they want to, you know, they got a 5, a 10, something extra in their PayPal that they want to dump in right there, make sure you guys do it. Something we are going to do. What do we got? We got about 20 minutes left. You guys know I do the gun show. I do the gun show auctions. I'm going to throw up a 2020-2021 O-Pee-Chee hockey hobby box. We are going to auction this gun style in the chat. And I said that I was going to give half the money, but you know what? I'm going to give all of it. I love Tim that much. I love Mike. I love what they're doing. So we're going to put this up right now. This will start at $1. Hobby box, hockey. Whatever it ends at the end of this, we will have you guys send it right there to Mike's PayPal at the bottom, and I will get this out to you. He said 20 drink, and you guys know how it works. If this hits $100, I will take 2 shots in a row right now. I probably should have started at 100, but if it hits $100, I will take 2 shots in a row, and all of the money will be going to SIGs for Soldiers, Tim, what he does. And you know what? I'm not allowed to say this, but there might be something extra going on. So trust me, go 100, and there's no deck with 100. I'm doing 2 shots. And the auction's not done. The 120's right there. I'll do another shot. But Daph, I want to hear more about how you decided to start your channel. And then I know how we get, man. We get the mic and we hold it. pop for about 5 minutes, and then I want to hear about how Brian decided to start his and what some of his ups and downs were, because I want people to be able to kind of learn from our successes or our failures on things that we've done. So, Def, why don't you grab that mic for about 5?
Yeah.
No,
So
Dak, I love you.
it's actually really well. Before I even start on that, I just want to say, like, I just want to throw in one little thing for the SIGs for Soldiers. Like, he's probably doing one of the best things. He's been doing one of the best things, and I know that there was a time not too long ago where, because of how much it costs and how much is entailed on his end to do this for everybody else, raise this money for the soldiers, it costs money. He was basically, I think, almost on his not doing or 10. So you guys, like, if you guys really support, like our military and everything they do for us, and that's what he's about, man. He's about helping them. So get out there, support, donate, do what you got to do. Veering off of Brian a little bit, Brian talked about the gentleman that he met up with, that he took that 8.5 hour venture outside of their track to go meet up with, that he just said felt right to people. So, and he said he had some kind of addiction issue or problem or whatever. Well, that's kind of where I came from, right? I went through what I went through. I got divorced, and then things happened. I got hurt. I got prescribed from the doctor Oxy, and then I kind of got hooked on them for a while. And I got hooked on them for years, and I spent a lot of money doing them. I went to work every day, was a functioning addict, did what I had to do. Hardly anybody could tell or know I was even doing them or I was addicted to them. I knew, like, when I wasn't feeling good one day, when I didn't have anything, I knew how I felt. But I came back because I was always into cards. Like, when I was young, like, my big thing is I remember biking to the local Tom Thumb and taking quarters and change and whatever I could compile up or save or earn or whatever, and go buy Garbage Pail Kids, probably series 1, 2, probably around my prime of being young, biking to Tom Thumb, buying those packs of Garbage Pail Kids, baseball cards, what have you. I mean, if I were to go back and think about it, I had a huge box, and people would probably kill me for this, but I would just have cards piled, like every type of sport, whatever. And I remember going back through them a couple years after, when I was younger. I pull out like a Mario Lemieux rookie card, because I didn't really know about hockey, and I'm like, hey, there's a Lemieux rookie in here. What the hell? What am I doing just sitting in this box? So, I mean, I had the love for it. I've always been into sports, but once that whole addiction thing, and I decided that I needed to get myself right, I need to get clean, I kind of reached back out to the hobby, and I started finding some people like doing things on YouTube and whatever. And I was like, you know what? I was like, part of my rehabilitation process is going to be either creating videos and talking to myself. And I wasn't even posting at the time. So I would literally go on walks every night after work when I was getting myself clean and going through everything I was going through. And I would just I would record myself talking. I would talk about whatever was on my mind, almost like a journal per se, right? Mm-hmm. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, and this is before you had to have 1,000 subscribers to go live on YouTube. You could go direct through YouTube without having 1,000. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to hit live one time and see what happens. And I think Matt Balsley, shout out to him. I think he was one of the first ones that ever popped on, or like one or two people. But I would talk, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting these interactions with people, and this kind of is cool. And people are relating to me, and I'm relating to them. So then I was doing my dog walk with my Rottweiler, and we went out to Minnehaha, and we're talking, and Balls is on there again. He's like one of the ones. And then all of a sudden, Gunz joins in. And Gunz it's like Balls and Gunz, and that's probably about it for like when I'm just starting, whatever. And we're talking. I'm walking Minnehaha scenery, just doing kind of like a live vlog or live stream, whatever. And I was gonna end it when we were done at Minnehaha, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep this thing going. So I kept it in the car, kept with Balls and Gunz, got back to where I was staying, and then I think it was when I got back to where I was staying at some point, we were talking or whatever, and Gunz just realized, like, I think he just realized something in his head. He's like, wait a minute. He's like, I've seen this guy basically give his shirt off his back for everybody. Is this fucking guy living in a hotel right now? Because I was staying in a hotel for a little while. And he like hit me up. Like, he's like, dude, he's like, are you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I can't get a place right now because when I went through my divorce and my credit at the time and everything else, and I would try to apply and they'd say financially you can do it, but you can't. So I was forking out a shit ton of money at a hotel. And I just, from there, I just kind of started building it. And then I started realizing, I think you and, or Eloy and you, or whoever was doing auctions. And I was like, you know what? I was getting into breaks with all sorts of people. I had all these cards that were coming in and that weren't PC cards. And I'm like, I'm going to try doing auction. Did an auction. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm getting $10 for this relic card of Charles Haley or
but it was
whatever.
the building the community part. Like, we've talked about it, and it was the having people come in all the time, and then the emails that we would get, or the DMs that we would get, where someone would be like, look, man, the best time of my week is this auction or that hangout. Like, I look forward to this.
Well, that's
what we built it. But hey, we got 15 minutes left. 15 minutes. I would love to have all of us talk differently, maybe on Deafness's channel or Brian's. Like, I think we could probably talk about some stuff, why we pop back in. I think we could rock a good hour, 2 hours or something. But this is fun. This is fun. I want to hear, and I love you, Def. I don't mean to cut you off. Brian,
I know we all like our soapbox.
We rock it. When you got a bunch of people who love down the room, here he is. Brian, what were some of the things that you wish that maybe you would have done different when you first started out that you know now? And how different is it growing on one platform from another platform? And do you ever ask yourself, how did I bang on this one, but this one isn't hitting exactly the same? Because me and Def have had these conversations before where we've been like, how come a month ago it was so great, but this month isn't, but next month? I just want to know what your thoughts are.
First off, I got to say, man, some of your comments are really touching me. Like, while all the guys are talking, I'm looking at some of your comments, and man, you guys this is a good group of dudes that are writing these comments, man. There's some good hearts on here, man.
I think this is the best community in the hobby. I said it earlier in my gun show. I will stand by. I will fight people over it. We've done some amazing things. We've done good stuff, and it's not about me. It's about the people that pop in. I think
that's what
kind of rocks. So
yeah, I know you got a special group of people here. You know, like, it sounds like you know, that's one of the great things about, you know, this new world of the internet we live in, right? Where, you know, if we were all living in our own cities and we didn't have the internet, it'd be hard to find, you know, like-minded people, right? But this has given us a chance to meet so many people that are like-minded. But anyways, to your question, like, what would I have changed different? Like, the platforms are really different, right? So I started doing TikTok 2 years ago, and it was honestly, it was kind of a joke when I started, right? I did, you know, like a grown-ass man going on TikTok and posting, right? Like, it didn't even cross my mind, but it was like those first couple videos, we just didn't really care. I think the very first video, I just woken up. My bro came into my room and was like, hey man, let's talk about your card. I'm going to film you. I'm going to put it on TikTok, right? He's like 15 years younger. And so I was like, all right, man, whatever. I don't care. I was like, I'll just talk about something, right? And then, you know, all these people watched it. And so we did it a couple more days, and people kept watching it. And then it was when people started responding and writing comments and saying, holy shit, you know, I loved that card when I was a kid, or that card was a card that meant a lot to me, or that card reminds me of my dad, and we used to go to the card shop together, or this card reminds me of my grandmother who used to do this. And then boom, I was hooked, right? I was just like, I couldn't believe that all these people were into the same thing that I was into, you know? And it was shocking to me. I was like, wait a minute, this is that, you know, this kind of what I thought was kind of like this nerdy hobby of mine, this lame hobby that I just would spend all my money on. And I did.
There's a lot of us nerds
everything. I know, man. And it was so nice to find out that there are all these other people just like me that were doing these things. And, you know, and so what did I do that got, like, I think what really kind of worked, I mean, to be fair, it was 2 years ago and maybe things have changed. I don't know. But like, I just kind of went with my gut. I would just talk about something I really cared about. Like, I never bullshitted anyone. There was never a time that I would tell people what they wanted to hear. I would only talk about my own experiences and what I thought about the hobby and what I like, what my cards are. And at the time I was like, nobody's going to care that I'm talking about 1988 tops. Nobody cares about that, because everybody at the time was like, yeah, I got this LaMelo Ball Prism Auto Refractor to like numbered to 5, right? And I'm like, yo, do you see that Greg Jeffries rookie card, 1988 tops or 1989 tops? Future Stars. It's a sick card. And so I was just like, I was talking about things that nobody else was talking about at the time, which was I really cared about cards that mattered to me from a sentimental thing from my childhood, right? And so I just would talk about things that I was passionate about, that I was interested in, and everybody else was talking about big, high dollar things. And so that's what started bringing a lot of people to my channel, is that they were like, man, you talk about it like I talk about it. Is like my all-time favorite card is my 1990 Leaf Frank Thomas.
Small cards, yeah. Just the card that grabs you. But hey, check this out, Brian. How many of the people who kind of looked at you like this all of a sudden started sending you links about a triple logo man selling for $7 million, about this card going for this? Started sending you pictures of their cards, like, hey, am I
all the time?
You know
I started getting messages from girls I hadn't talked to in 20 years that were like, Brian, you got to check out this card I have, and I'm like, what is going on,
Right, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, big hurt, RJ. That's right, man. Yeah, favorite card of all time still is that 1990.
My brother is one of my best friends from Portland, so next time you pop out, if we all end up linking
there
up,
we go. Go Portland.
Man, so this was really cool. I know that we're running out of time here. We got a little bit left. Mike, forgive me if I'm wrong, but we got until 6:50. I think I want to do one more thing. So we're sitting at 120 on this right now.
Keep going longer.
Okay, we're sitting at 120 on this right now. I'm with a couple of guys who actually have a love for the hobby like I do. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open a couple packs of 1990 score, because we all know what. If we're gonna open that, all right, Brian, why don't you start? We all know what's in the 90 score, right? What's the biggest card in the score?
I don't know. I had to come to open some. I'm at the cabin. I would have brought.
It's all Bo Jackson, man. It's all Bo Jackson.
I think that's the best card. This one might have it. Okay, no, it doesn't. The Bo Jackson is still way more iconic. What do you got right now? What are you gonna open?
I got a few packs of 1983 tops.
Let's go.
83. This has the Ryan Sandberg, the Tony Gwynn, and the Wade Boggs.
Okay. Oh God, RJ right now is freaking out about the Ryan Sandberg, guaranteed.
Yeah, man. Actually, it's funny. I don't know if you guys if you saw this on my channel, but I went to a party a few weeks ago with it was Derek Jeter's party, and at the party was the cast of Entourage.
Right? I did. I saw that. I liked it. I think I commented.
It was crazy. So it was funny.
Check out his YouTube videos or his videos on his other platforms. They're awesome,
dude. So it was sick. So there we are. I'm in line at the airport flying back, and I'm in line, and Drama. Remember Drama from Entourage?
Yeah.
So he's behind me in line, and he's like, hey, do you have any more packs of 83 tops? And I was like, I got a few. And so we're standing there in line at security. Right? This is like a television star, right?
Right.
And he opens like a pack of 83 tops right there in line and pulls the Ryan Sandberg rookie card. And we were like just going crazy, and everybody's like, what are they doing, right? So here's 1983 tops, right? Nice delicious piece of gum right here, right?
I would eat it if I was there. No, you don't do it. Oh, you know you've done it way too many times. I would eat it. Oh God, his mouth is so dry right now.
I
know what it tastes like.
Okay, you got a Joe Morgan. Yeah.
Let's go.
Here, let me do this one. That's disgusting. Steve Murrah. See that? John, look at these guys, man. These cards, man, it smells like the 80s right now.
There it is.
Here's a Don Sutton.
Yeah, there's something.
Pete Vukovich. That's cool. Jerry White. Ken Singleton. Bake McBride. Oh, Burt Blyleven. There we go. There's a Hall of Fame.
Burt Blyleven.
There's a twin.
There we go.
Burt Blyleven has a special place in the Gun Show heart, because it took me a full year to say his name correctly when I was drunk, and
I never knew how to say his name until somebody corrected. That's one of the things that TikTok has done for me. Every time I pronounce the name wrong, everyone lets me know
quickly,
very quickly.
See, I drink liquor during my live, so people give me a pass because they're sweethearts. Let's see if we can find that bow. I see a white card back there. Okay, that's not it. Dang it. Yeah, it's Barry Larkin. It's not the bow. Is there another white? Let's see what we can get. Tell me, Tim, what up, man?
like the guy who
Not
said
here. No. Come on. I mean, if I just turn it sideways, will it appear?
I like the
No, it
like the
didn't. It
hope.
didn't. All right, so I'm gonna do this, man, because this was something that was important for me as a kid. When you sit and you get to open certain packs, it brings you back to when you're a kid. You're at the card store. You're just ripping packs with your friends. They knew how to get over on us. As soon as we pulled a good card, they'd be like, "Well, I'll give you 3 more packs for that card," and we'd of course say yes every time. So then we'd lose our good card and we walk with nothing. But we're gonna pull the Griffey right now. I just have a feeling we're gonna pull it together right now.
This is the moment, huh?
Okay, not on this pack because there's the purple. Oh, there is purple. Okay, let's see. Let's
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? We're gonna rip through. I like so the 40-40 Club. Jose Canseco is my second favorite card.
Yeah, that's a great card. Oh, you got the MVP Ozzie Smith.
Right there, right. Little wizard rocking. I'll turn him over because the purples are there. I feel like I'm gonna jinx it if I turn the pack over. Oh no, it's not the right purple. It's not the right ones.
That's such a great set, man. 89 Don Russ is magic.
It gets zero respect, but I love it. It was
No, I love it, man. That's a great set.
I know we're gonna get kicked off anytime because the next little show's coming on. You guys hang out. Oh no, purple. Spike Owen, love Spike Owen. I just loved Spike Owen's name back in the day. This hurts when there's no purple at all. I want to pull that. I want to pull that Griffey Jr. right now. Frank Viola. Can't hate on that guy. Ozzy. So my buddies Don and Cody just got to go see him, and so we got 6 for Soldiers. What we're doing something right now, but we also have Vets on Horses. Donnie, who's always in the gun show, that's his 501(c) out of Chicago, and Ozzy Guillen. They just went and hung out with him. He wore a Vets on Horses T-shirt for the entire signing. It was a really cool situation. And I'm going to be heading out to Chicago in the next Spike Owen. I'm going to be heading out to Chicago in the next couple months for Cody's wedding. All right, we got 2 more packs we're going to rip. Let's see if we can get these.
How is it cool that he can open a pack of cards right now and just randomly pull a guy out that there's a connection with?
No, that kills me. That makes zero sense to me if there's no purple. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, that's it. Dang it. I thought it'd be wrong. No. Yeah. None. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I have 10 packs of these that I'm going to pop out. And what's up?
Did you get a change of
Oh, no. I'll be done in a second, though, real quick, okay? I have 10 packs here, and everybody who was in my gun show earlier who grabbed something, I'm going to be throwing one of these in each of your stacks. So I hope you guys get to pull the card that I wanted to pull. Think of us when you pull it. Let me know. Please let me know. Make sure you guys are following Brian. Make sure you're following Deafness 45. Make sure you're following me. And I want to know what you ended up getting. Ooh, I hope soon that we can end up getting together in person. Def, I still want you to pop out, do a gun show with me out here.
Yeah, for sure. But let's
man,
also, Gunz, before you finish up, let's also figure out something again. Maybe whether we do it on Brian's channel, your channel, my channel, it doesn't matter. Or we could rotate. We could have a couple sessions. Let's actually take a little more time and let's kind of dive in depth because there's a lot of things I want to even ask Brian as him being more a TikTok guy or having more traction on TikTok than trying to do everything else, but kind of how the algorithms are and how the views change and vary so much. And so
for sure, man. It sounds good for the
So here's one of the things. So Brian's doing great on TikTok, right? Putting out the same kind of content on YouTube and Twitter. Started TikTok and Instagram before he started the other ones. Let's do him a solid. Let's help build him up. Anybody, I'm going to be posting stuff on my Twitter. I'm going to be trying to build his channel up on YouTube. Let's try and get one of our guys to end up being one of the big guys out in the space.
Yeah,
that would be great for me. I would love it. It would work for my heart. It'd be great for him. And when you try to champion the right kind of people, you win every time. You know what I mean? So Crosby said, "Rip my pack." So we're ripping Crosby's pack. He's gonna
Hey,
rip it right now.
Gunz, Brian, I got to roll, man. I got to roll because I got some family.
Love you,
just rolling
Def. I
in
know
here.
you're out at the cabin
Yep,
tonight,
so,
man, and we see it behind you. I appreciate
love you
you taking
guys.
the time to come
It's
talk
been
with
real.
us.
So great to meet you,
Appreciate
brother.
you guys, man. Have a good night.
So
Have a
great
good night,
to meet
everybody.
you.
Later.
Peace.
And Bry, I think we're at 650 right now.
Yep.
Yeah, Crosby, you didn't get nothing. Your pack sucked.
Hey, I want to see Brian open his. I want to see Brian open his 83 Tops packs. The other two.
Yeah, he said, "Well, wait."
I like it. You're a man of great taste. Great taste. And speaking of great taste, man, bad taste. That gum was gnarly, man. That was.
Oh, bad. I saw it right away. You were like,
Okay.
and I knew it. I tasted it in my mouth. My mouth got dry.
Let's stop. Okay, we got a Britt Burns. And wrong Randy Johnson, but every time I post a Randy Johnson from the 80s like this, people are like, "Why did you go past Randy Johnson?" I'm like, wrong Randy Johnson, guys.
I bought that one thinking it was the other one when I first got in the hobby. Yeah.
Reggie Jackson.
There we go.
Actually, just got a chance to meet him a couple weeks ago.
Ooh, nice.
Lee Mazzelli. Oops. Anybody want to win a trip to the 1983 World Series?
Me.
By the way, Jimmy,
look at that.
George Brett.
George Brett.
There we go.
That's a good one.
What's up, Mike?
We got $120 for the box.
120, done deal. Done
Ron
deal.
Hassey.
4-leaf cards.
Dave Stapleton. Still, we got the George Brett. I got one more.
One more. Let's go. Come on, something big right now.
And this, yeah, I got this out of a baseball card exchange, one of those wrapped boxes. Okay, let's find something like a Cal Ripken, a Nolan Ryan, Tony Gwynn. I'm
Brian,
really
are
looking
you going
for
to the
Tony Gwynn.
National this year?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll definitely be there.
Nice.
I would
Come and say hi.
And hopefully you guys can link up, figure something out.
Oops, another Scott Sanderson, Jim Hessian, Gorman, Sammy Stewart.
You know, Mike, I'd be going to the
Roche.
one of my brothers who lives in Chicago is getting married like in 2 months after. So
And if anybody
Chicago,
wants all the cards that I opened tonight, just add me on Instagram or TikTok or and I'll mail you all these cards. I'll think of a way to pick, or maybe Jimmy can pick who's gonna get all these cards.
you just let me know who popped in, and yeah, we'll grab somebody for sure. Mike, what are you thinking, man?
I'm thinking I'm sick and I want to go to bed. So
I'm so sorry. Thank you for everything you do, man. You know, one of the things I say is, Mike, always my commission, my bud. Always my commission. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate everything
that's
you
a
do.
long story, isn't it? The whole
And we know what it means, though.
We do.
It was
Hey
great
guys,
to meet all you guys. Thank you so much.
Ryan, thank you for popping in, man. It means a lot to me. I can't wait to come meet you again in person. Next time you come to Portland, let me know. I will be out there.
Sounds
Take
good,
you
brother.
out for lunch or something. Nicole, Nevin would love. We'll go have a good time.
Sounds good,
They'll tell you I'm a riot, man. It's fun. It's fun in Portland with me.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. So good
Thank
to see
you.
you guys. Mike, thank you so much, man.
yeah, you're welcome.
All
This
right,
is the
mate.
last
Take care,
hour.
Brian. Yeah,
Take care,
whole hour. Jeez.
Yeah, this is it tonight for Hobby Palooza. We'll start again in the morning at 10 a.m. Central. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. If can I say, Mike, if anybody don't have anywhere to go, I'm about to take about a 10-minute break, and I'm going to go back on my channel and rock some gun show and hang out for a little while. So
Go
Come
check
on.
out Jimmy Gunz. Go
play.
check out Jimmy Gunz. All right.
Yes, sir.
See you
I
guys
love you,
later.
Mike. Man, get some rest, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Thank you for everything you do, brother.
You bet, man.